Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, Colorado legislators craft statewide RC aircraft ban. Helicopter safety and GA loss of control accidents make NTSB's most wanted list. And new generation AW169 helicopter full-scale production is underway. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm Ashley Hale. Two state senators in the state of Colorado have crafted legislation that would essentially end the hobby of flying radio-controlled aircraft in the state. It's reported that the bill had some really weird stuff in it, such as the requirement for a person that uses an unmanned aerial vehicle for recreational use to comply with all instrument flight rules. It also says that a person who wants to use an unmanned aerial vehicle for recreational or commercial use must obtain an experimental airworthiness certificate or certificate of waiver authorizing the operation from the FAA. The bottom line is the writers of this legislation don't have a clue about the national airspace system, how the FAA regulates aviation, or that model aircraft have been safely flown in this country since the days of the Wright brothers. We really hope this proposed legislation never sees the light of day. The NTSB has released its most wanted list for 2015, and two aviation items are among the issues on which the board will focus this year. The board said that safety of helicopters operated by local, state, and federal governments is one of its top priorities. Pilots who fly search and rescue and law enforcement missions require safer operations. The board also says that most airplane accidents happen in general aviation, and the board's target for this year is focusing on preventing loss of control crashes in general aviation. NTSB Acting Chairman Christopher Hart said in part, quote, "This list is grounded in the accident investigations by which the NTSB learned safety lessons and in the recommendations that are NTSB's primary safety product," end quote. After the break, the AW169 helicopter has entered full-scale production.
A real airplane, not just a toy. The Airplane Factory Sling is a high-performance two-place LSA that fits the needs of private individuals, flight schools, and flying clubs alike, and has been called one of the best-handling LSAs on the market. Check it out at www.airplanefactory.com. Ready for a bold and never-boring LSA? Check out the Renegade, Little Rascal LS1 and LS2 fully aerobatic light sport aircraft with dependable fuel-injected Lycoming AEIO 233 power.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
Welcome back. If you'd like to support Airborne Unlimited, send an email to jim@aero-news.net. The new generation AgustaWestland AW169 light intermediate 4.5 metric ton class helicopter, that's about 10,000 pounds, has entered full-scale production. The first aircraft is now on the final assembly line at its facility in Italy. The AW169 is the first all-new aircraft in its weight category to enter the market in nearly 40 years. The AW169 flight test program, utilizing 4 prototypes, has so far amassed over 1,200 flight hours during flight testing in Italy, the UK, and the US. The AW169 has been designed in response to the growing market demand for an aircraft that delivers high performance, meets all the latest safety standards, and has multi-role capabilities. The AW169 is being certified in accordance with the EASA CS29 and FAR Part 29 latest amendments. It's Thursday, which means that it's time for an Aero Community Update, highlighting news and information about the incredible people and organizations that populate the Airborne Partnership Initiative behind Airborne Unlimited. One of the primary efforts of the Airborne Partnership Initiative that produces our next-generation airborne programming is the massive consortium we've built to change the face of aviation media. Nearly 120 associations so far, covering everything from model airplanes to rocket planes. We expect upwards of 200 groups to join a developing aviation-oriented united front that's designed to collectively have a positive, even transformative impact on the aviation industry that just isn't possible individually. Our expectation is that this initiative will serve as a foundation for the renewal, rebuilding, and expansion of the aviation industry, and all of you can be a part of it. Now we're announcing the first 10 associations that we'll be working with as API partners and members, and we couldn't be more pleased with the groups that agreed to do the hard work of being part of the first deployment in what is assured to be an extraordinary and arduous effort. Aero-News, Aero-TV, and Airborne are pleased to welcome these 10 outstanding aero service organizations into the ranks of the Airborne Partnership Initiative. The Academy of Model Aeronautics, the Aircraft Electronics Association, the Commemorative Air Force, the Experimental Aircraft Association, IMC Club, International Council of Airshows, Society of Aviation and Flight Educators, Seaplane Pilots Association, Women in Aviation International, and the X Prize Foundation. Welcome aboard! After these messages, the EAA gets ready for AirVenture 2015 air shows.
Since 2001, MGL Avionics has produced avionics for experimental and light sport aircraft. The flagship product is the IEFIS, a comprehensive next-generation flight, engine, and navigation instrument designed to meet the demands of the modern pilot. See more at www.mglavionics.com.
The KSN 770 is an affordable, WAS-enabled integrated MFD with a flexible hybrid user interface from Bendix King. Get your fingers on the 770's perfect blend of touchscreen and hard buttons. Easily control your GPS navigation, Navcom, weather, traffic, and terrain in any condition. For more information, go to bendixking.com.
AML's patent-pending wireless induction charging system eliminates confusion over those charging cables, cuts down cockpit cable clutter, and allows you and your passengers to fly cordless and eliminate the cable nightmare. www.aviationmodificationleaders.com.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we've summarized some other interesting stories and a brief segment we call Around the Patch. EAA has started early in selecting the performers for AirVenture 2015. 18 stellar performers have already been named. Some are longtime favorites and others are first-timers at AirVenture. It's an incredible lineup. Representatives from the White House, the FAA, and major U.S. airlines have gathered at Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University's Daytona Beach campus for a two-day pilot supply and demand summit. Boeing reports that 88,000 new commercial pilots are needed over the next 2 decades. The Aircraft Electronics Association has unveiled the dates and locations for its 2015 regional meetings between May and November of this year. 3 meetings will be held in the U.S. and 4 will be held in other countries. Piper has delivered 3 G1000 equipped twin-engine Piper Seminoles to the University of North Dakota's Aerospace Foundation. These deliveries bring the UND Aviation Training Department fleet to more than 120 airplanes, of which 20 are Seminoles. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. Last month, Boeing delivered the 8th P-8A Poseidon of 2014, which completed all planned deliveries to the U.S. Navy for the year, on time, and within cost. That airplane, the 21st overall for the program, flew from Seattle to Naval Air Station Jacksonville in Florida on January 8. It joined other P-8As being used to train Navy crews. The Mad Foxes of Patrol Squadron 5 are conducting operational missions during the second overseas deployment of a P-8A Poseidon squadron. Last summer, the VP-16 War Eagles completed 600 sorties and 3,500 flight hours on the P-8A's maiden deployment. Based on the Boeing Next Generation 737-800 commercial airplane, the P-8A provides the Navy anti-submarine warfare, anti-surface warfare, and intelligence, surveillance, and reconnaissance capabilities. Well, that's our program for Thursday, January 15th. Remember to join us every weekday for the best in aviation and aerospace news. I'm Ashley Hale. Thanks for watching.
Sandia introduces the new SAI 340 Quattro standby instrument. TSO'd airspeed, attitude, altitude, and slip. With integral backup battery, safety never looked so good. See it now at www.sandia.aero.
Since the early days of powered flight, pilots have struggled with landing in crosswinds. In fact, crosswinds and wind gusts cause more landing accidents than fog, thunderstorms, and icing combined. That's where the Redbird X-Wind SE comes in. By placing pilots in gusty crosswind conditions for extended periods of time, the X-Wind SE gives instructors all the time they need to teach the pilot the proper techniques for landing in crosswind conditions. For more information on Redbird X-Wind SE and Redbird's entire line of flight training devices, visit www.redbirdflightsimulations.com.